This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good morning friends. In this BI Master program, in today's session we are going to talk about different ways to copy data from Azure SQL database to Azure SQL database. Okay, so let's say instead of copying data from Azure SQL database to Azure SQL database, we will call it as a blob storage. Okay, so what we are going to do is we will see how to different ways to copy data from Azure SQL database to blob storage. We already aware. Okay, let me just open the notepad. We already discussed at the beginning of our training. So importance, how to collect data. Okay, so importance of the data. So we discussed about importance of data for business and how to collect data. Okay, different sources, web applications, mobile applications, different ways we discussed. Then we discussed where to store this data we discussed. So where to store this data we discussed, right? Where and all we can store this data? Huh?
Blob storage.
Database and
No.
storage.
You need to say
Database.
databases, or it can be a database, or you can say storages. So as of now, we just have seen one of the storage called blob storage. We know how the data is maintained in the storages. Okay, how the data is maintained in the storages as a .csv or .json or .xlsx, extra. We can able to store data in different file formats. These files we can able to upload into the storage. Now today let's talk about the database. Okay, so before I go and explain about the database, let's say you have got, like, you went to any hotel. Okay, so you just sit in a place where food will be served. Now where entire food will be maintained in the hotel? Entire food where they will maintain?
Kitchen.
The menu.
So they will maintain entire food in the kitchen. Okay, who will bring the food for you? So you are not going into the kitchen to bring the food, right? Who is going to bring the food for you? You are going to request to someone, he is going to bring the food. That person is called,
Waiter.
who will bring? So waiter or server. Okay, we will call it as a server or waiter. Okay, so now my question is, let's say if this server or waiter knows English, if you know English, you can communicate. If the server knows Telugu, if you know Telugu, you can communicate. So if this particular person is Hindi and you don't know Hindi, what will happen in that case?
Communication issue.
What happens in that case?
Communication problem.
Communication problem will come. Correct. Okay. So communication problem will come, meaning basically you are not able to request what you need. People who are not able to unmute, who are not able to hear, please rejoin quickly. Okay, so here in kitchen you will have a food. There is a server. What server will do is, server is a person who will take the request. As per your request, you will go to the kitchen and bring the food for you. Now let's imagine if the server knows Hindi. If you don't know Hindi, what happens is you will not be able to do anything with this server, meaning you cannot work with this particular servers and the kitchen, because you don't know how to communicate. What you will say? You can't go to the kitchen and bring it. You are not able to communicate. What you will do? There is no other way. So similarly here, database is nothing but a kind of a kitchen where you will have entire data. Kitchen means food. Database means you will have a data. Now database will have the data. If you want to bring any data, if you want to create any table, you want to insert any data, you want to delete any table, you want to delete any row, what you need is you need a server. This server knows one language. If you know that language, you can able to interact with this server and you can say, hey server, can you create a table in the database? Hey server, can you select, can you just show me the data that is there in this table? Hey server, can you delete this table? You can ask anything to this server. You can ask anything to this server. Now my first question is, anybody know what language this server knows?
RDBMS.
SQL.
RDBMS.
SQL.
This server knows only SQL language. Okay, this server knows only SQL language. So now what we need to do is, at least if you want to create any table, if you want to insert any records into the table, if you want to delete any table, if you want to do anything in the database, you need to talk to the server. If you want to talk to the server, you need to learn SQL language. What you need to learn? What you need to learn? SQL language. Okay, we need to learn a SQL language. Clear? Any doubts still here? Fine. So now you understood, right? Now what I want is, let's imagine I have a server, I have a database. Now I want to create some table. I need to talk to the server and say, hey server, can you create a table in the database? How you can say in SQL languages, create table. Okay, I want to create a table. That's why I'm saying create table. What is the table name? Let's say customer is the table name. So let's imagine everybody knows student, right? Let's say table name is student. Create table student. What is the what all columns you need? Basically, when a student went to the college, what all details basically we will maintain about the student. So student will have a student ID. Student will have student name. Okay. So I'll talk about this varchar int all this. Okay. Otherwise, let me talk like this. So student will have a student ID. Student may have student name. Student may have student branch. So under which branch? Student may have starting year. Start year for that particular course and end year for that particular course. Something like that. Now what happens in this table is, you have not defined something called data type. So one of the very important thing is, whenever you are defining a table, you need to define the data types. What are the data types? What is meant by data type? So data type means type of data that you are storing. Example, student ID. It can be a only number 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Student name can be a string Rama, Krishna, Sai. So branch can be a ECE, CSC, Triple E, mechanical, civil, extra will go. Okay. Now, what is the start year? It will go as a number 2012, 2013, 2016, 2020, 2000, like this. End year means 2016, 2017, 2020, 2024, 2004. Like this and so on, you will get it. So if you look at here, these are numbers. Always remember, numbers will consider as a int data type. Text always will consider as a varchar. Okay, but in varchar we will provide some number. Let's say if I am providing 3, Okay. For student name, I am providing a varchar of 3. 3 means 3 characters. Now, Ram. How many characters we have?
3 characters.
3 characters. There is no issue. Rama. Can I able to store? Under
No.
student name, can I able to store Rama? Yes
No.
or no?
No, size is 4, sir.
Why? Size
Size
is
is 4.
Because we have given the length up to 3.
that's right. The size is 3. So the length of this one is 4. That's why the data will be truncated and it will throw error. Okay, so what you need to do, the at least maximum length 50 or 100 you try to take whenever you are creating the table. Okay, so with that, student ID is a number. I'll just say int. Student name is a text. I'll say varchar 50. Student branch, it's again a text. I'll say varchar 50. Start year, you can say int. End year, int. Can I take instead of this, 1 second, start date, end date I want to. So date, how you can define a date? Any guesses? Date, we have a date data type. Okay, date data type. So what you need to do is, if you want only date, you can give date. If you want a date and a time, you need to give date and time when he has joined, exact date and time. Similarly, date time. So date and date time, you understood what is the difference between date data type and the date time data type. So date time means example like this. Okay, so date and the time both are there. This is only a date. Got it. So now when I say date time, which means date and time, okay, both. Student phone number. Student phone number is how many digits will be there?
10, sir. 10 or
10.
12. 10 or 12.
So up to 9 digits, we can consider int. If it is a more than 9 digit, we need to consider as a big int. So can you tell me, do I need to consider this as int or big int?
Begin.
Big int. Okay. So now can you all tell me any doubts till here? SID is a column which consider only numbers. That's the name. S name will have only text varchar 50. S branch varchar 50. Start date, date time, end date, date time. Phone number is big int. Any doubts in creating the table? Creation of the table. Anybody have any doubt? Okay, clear. Good. Now we will talk about how to insert the data into this table. Okay, insert into, what is the table name? Student. What are the columns you have in this table? Just to provide all those columns without data types, you provide all the columns. Let's say I'm just giving all these columns here, but I'll just remove the data types because data types are not required at this time. While inserting the data, you don't require this particular data types. Phone number. Okay, like this. Insert into student. These are column names. What are the values for these columns? So values are for student ID 1. Okay, 1 comma student name. Remember, whenever you have a date or text, you need to put it in a single quotes. Okay, except int and begin, everything you need to put it in a single quotes. Okay, yes name Rama is from EC. Start date is, let's imagine, 2012 09 10 10 minutes, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, he registered. Okay, when he is going to relieve is 2016 05. Okay, the 14th, 11 hours, 10 minutes. Okay, 33 seconds. He is coming out from that particular course. What is his phone number? I am giving my phone number. Okay, this is one record how I have inserted. Similarly, I can insert the other records. How? Same. Insert into student. Okay, what are the columns? Columns are same columns, right? In a table, in the table. Into same table, that's the same columns. What values you want to insert into this table? 2, Krishna, he is from CSC, 2012 010 01 11 minutes 10 seconds 11 seconds. Okay, he started his course in 2000, yeah, let's say 2016 05, same date he is coming out. Okay, so phone number, I'll just give my phone number with some extra number 2 I have given. Okay, so like this you can able to insert as many records as you want. The other way, easiest way, I will tell you, insert into student without mentioning these column names, directly you can put values and you can say 3 Sai Tribuli, start as 2010 01 01 10 second 10 minutes. Okay, 2014 so phone number I'm just giving my something like this. So you can create table like this. Okay, you can insert data like this, you can insert data like this, you can also insert data like this into this student table. How many of you clear? How many of you clear till here? Everybody's clear till here?
Clear, sir.
Yes.
Okay, good. Now what we will do, so as we have discussed, the lab for today is what we are going to do, lab 6, how to copy data from SQL database to Blob storage. So what is my source here? SQL data. What is my source? SQL data. What is my sink?
Blob storage.
Blob.
Which service we are going to use to move data from SQL database to Blob? EDF.
PDF.
We need these 3 services basically: SQL database, Blob storage, and ADF. Okay. Can I go and create these 3 services? Yes. Let's go and create these 3 services from the portal.
SQL also Azure SQL service,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Not the
Yes.
on-premises. Okay.
That we will discuss later, on-premise things. Once we are good with the cloud, bringing data from on-premise to cloud is only connection will vary. The concept, otherwise everything will be same. Okay. Go to SQL database. See, you can search here SQL databases. Click on SQL database. Okay, you'll come here. Click create SQL database to create SQL database. Come down. You can see this is the subscription. This is the research group. Let's create a new research group. Okay, create new. So cloud funded -RG sub RG6 sixth lab, right? Click OK. So here you need to enter the database name. You are already aware, right? So database name is Cloud Pandit 6 SQL DB. What is the database? Database will have only data, but if you want to put some data into the database, if you want to delete some data from the database, what you need to do?
Create
DML
table.
operation.
What you need? If you want to
Server.
insert some data into the table, if you want to create a table in database, we need a server, right? So that's why you see
Yes.
server. We need to create a server now. Click create new. So create server cloud Pandit 6 SQL server. So in this region, quota is completed. So I'm choosing another region called East to West 2. Now, if everybody try to connect to the SQL server, it will not allow. You need to provide the credentials. Very carefully observe here. So I'm creating Palla is username. Password is cloud@123. Cloud@123 I have given. Okay. So I'm just entering here. Created a server. Server credentials are username is Malaya. Password is I just created as cloud@123. Cloud@123. Simple. Okay. So once you have set the username and password, which type of authentication it is? SQL authentication. Okay. Use SQL authentication. I set it. Then click OK. Okay. So this is compute. How much compute you need? 250 GB storage. I am taking 10 DTUs means database throughput units. This is a compute. DTUs 250 GB is a storage. Okay, so we'll discuss more about these things. See, similarly, whatever we have in the blob storage, local redundancy, zone redundancy, geo redundancy, you can create some backup storages. Whenever some disaster happened, you will have a data. By default, it's a geo redundancy. You just leave everything else is a default. Click review plus create. So click create. So database is costly. You can see estimated cost per month is 1060. So initializing the deployment, so it will be initialized. Database is going to create. Okay. Everybody understood Prithvi, Sri Lakshmi, Srija. Everybody is able to understand how I created the database. Good. Now I'm moving to the next tab to create the blob storage. Okay. Let's go and create the blob storage. So select, yeah, here also you can search for storage account. Click on storage accounts. Create storage account. So basically what you need is RG7, right? RG6. So Cloud Pandit -RG6, same resource group I'm choosing. Storage name I'm giving here Cloud Pandit 6 storage. Okay, 6 storage. Then yeah, that's all. You just give the storage name, click review plus create. Click create. Okay. So storage also created. We already discussed since last 5 sessions. So different like different storages we created. We moved data from here and there. Now, what is the third service that I need to create? Azure Data Factory. Okay, search for data factories. Click on data factories. Create data factories. So RG6. Select this RG6. Name of the data factory you can say Cloud Pandit. Cloud Pandit 6 ADF. Okay, then click Git configuration. You can configure it later as you know. Click review plus create. People who joined today newly, if anybody joined, they'll not be able to understand all these things. Please go through previous session. So now I just created SQL database, storage account, and the Azure Data Factory. Now my first question is how to interact with the server, how to connect to the server, and how we can say create this table, insert data into this table. So let me show. Give me a minute, 1 minute. Okay, so now we will see how to connect to the server. Now come to database, careful observe. This is completely new to all of us. Step one is go to resource. Don't try to connect to the server directly. Very important step is you need to turn on the firewall. Why you need to turn on firewall? Database will not allow everybody to connect. You need to tell who can connect to this particular database. Come to set server firewall. So I'm just showing you again. Go to overview. On overview, you see copy, restore, export. There is an option called set server firewall. I hope everybody is able to see this option, isn't it? Click on set server firewall. Now come down slowly. If you see a firewall rules, you need to click add your client IP. What is your client IP? So Ketan, I'll explain that. End of the session. Okay. So your client IP, if you just click add client IP, it will add. What is this client IP? The network that I connected, my internet ID. Okay. So from which network I can able to connect. So this is the network. You just click here. So it will auto detect your IP address and it will add it. Next. Do you want to allow Azure services to connect to this server or not? Yes. I want to allow Azure services like Azure Data Factory, Databricks to connect to the database and the server. That's why I'm just checking this option. Then click save. So you just see here options. Meanwhile, I just connect my charger. Please look at these options. Everybody clear on these options. Okay, then just to save these options. Okay, so whenever I'm repeating again, wait, I'll take questions. Okay. So first thing is, whenever you created the database and server, the first important step, what is the first important step? You need to enable the firewall. Please remember, very important. What is the first thing that you need to do?
Set
You need
server.
to enable
Enable the firewall.
exactly. So you need to enable the firewall. That is the first thing. Second thing is, when it comes to here, don't add only this IP. You need to check this. Otherwise, from ADF, you will not be able to connect. You will get a lot of issues. If you uncheck this, you need to check this also. Very important. Once you enable your firewall options, you need to come here. You need to add this, and you need to click here. Two things you need to don't forget. Okay, very important. If you make any mistake here, so entire lab you will confuse totally, because everywhere the connection issues comes. Okay, that's why do these two and save these changes. Okay, once you save this, just wait. So on top it will give the notifications. So successfully updated the server firewall rules a minute ago. Now you go back. So how to connect to the server is, as of today I'm showing from the portal. Going forward, I'll explain you the tools that we are going to use. Okay, how to install those tools and all I will explain. For today, you can see a query editor. Are you seeing here? Overview, activity here, query editor. Everybody able to see query editor? See in the overview here in these options, last option, query editor. Click on query editor. Then login name. You need to give the password. What is the username and password? Username is Balaya and password is cloud123. Okay, I'm just putting this. Click OK. I connected or not? Yes. Okay. Now I basically connected to my server. I connected to my server. Expand this. Do you have any tables here? Refresh this. Expand this option. Do you see any tables under tables? No. How to create tables? So select this and put that here. Then, okay, once you copy this script, this SQL language, to create a table. Then you see option called run. Just click run. So affected rows 0. Query is succeeded. Query succeeded means we will see refresh here. Go here and check any table is there. Yes. What columns are there in this table? Check it. Okay, these are the tables we have in this table. Clear? I will give you all these queries also, okay, for your practice. Now, if you want to check it, is there any data in this table? From student table, any data is there? I want to check from student. Do you have any data? So you want to select everything, select star, wildcard like that. Select star means select everything from student table. Okay, select everything, select star means select everything from student table. Let's say run it. How many is there any data here? Result you see? Nothing. Only column names are there, but no result because we have not inserted any data. Let's insert. Let's put some data in this table. How? Take first row, paste it here. See, insert into student column names, values of this, and so on. Okay. Now you run it. Incorrect syntax near values. Okay, yes side is something which is a do one thing.
Can you put in
Yes.
the square brackets SID?
Okay. Yeah. So because SID is basically considered as a one of the keyword in the SQL. Okay, that's why it is throwing error. Now, when we mention it in square bracket, it will treat it as a normal column name. The other way is you remove this columns list itself. Okay, no issues. But let's say for now we will go in this way. Click run. Again, there is okay. Sorry, you select everything properly and run it. So effective rows is how many? 1, meaning one row is inserted into this table. So meaning one row is inserted into this table. Okay, 1 second. So what you need to do correction here is you need to put the square bracket. Okay, so I just inserted. Now let's see the data. How to check the data from the table? From student. I want to select everything.
From star.
Select the star. You need to put at the beginning. Okay, now run it. See, one row is showing. Now I want to insert second row. What you will do? Say go back to notepad. Say I'm talking about a second row. This is the second row. Copy the second row.
Second item, sir. Second item.
Yes, second row. Okay. So this is also item. This is also basically a keyword. That's why I'm just putting in a square bracket. Now you don't select anything. Don't select anything. Just click run. So effective rows is 1. Again, one more row is inserted. One more row is inserted. I want to check how many rows are there now. Select star from student. See, second row also available here. Okay, now I will move on to the third row. Select this and put that here. Insert into student values without column names. I'm just giving the values. Okay, just to take this and run this. Effective rows is 1 again. Select. You can execute everything at once. For easy understanding, I'm showing one by one row. See 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now what I'll remove everything. How to remove everything from the table is truncate table student. Meaning you can truncate. You remove entire data in the table. For that you can use a truncate table student. Now affected rows are 0. We will see what data we have now. One second. See, there is no result because we have truncated. What we have done? We have fired this query. So truncate table student, it removes entire data from truncate table student. It removes entire data from table, but keeps structure of table as it is, as it is. Okay. Now, very important thing is next. Now I'll show you how to insert these three rows at once. That's why I just truncated basically. Okay. So you see, copy these three insert statements. Put all these insert statements at once. Okay. You say 1, 2, 3. Now you run it. How many rows are affected? 3. Meaning everything you can able to execute at once. So let's just start from student. Now when you see, you will be able to see a 3 rows. Cleared all of you? Any questions here? Yeah, now anybody have any questions? You can ask in next 5 minutes.
Malay, I have a question.
Yes, it will be auto commit. It's not a Oracle. You no need to commit every time. Okay, it will be auto committed.
Okay, thank you.
Can you please?
Hi, sir. There are two questions. One is related to the IP address.
Hold on. Let me go with the chat. Could you please copy query here? Manish, I'll share all the queries that I created. Okay, don't worry. What is elastic pool? Elastic pool means Ketan, you are basically assigning the resources. Okay, so for this job, this much capacity I want to assign. So for this particular job, I need to assign this much capacity. So let's say for production environment, 70% of the resources you want to reserve, because all the development tasks for taking entire resources, production will be delayed. Let's say let's imagine there is a small business is running on these things. You can enable elastic pool and you can just reserve the capacity, like how much capacity you want to assign for what jobs and all. You can able to do in elastic pool, but I never configured, so you no need to worry about it. Okay. Can we use a new pipeline using the same data factory for multiple operations, or will there be any dependency? No. Why we are creating a new data factory, new pipelines every day, just to show you each lab a independent. But people, whoever is able to understand, they can able to do everything in a single data factory. They can try to do everything in a different pipelines. You can able to do, if you think everything is related, everything is dependent. So based on your business, if you think there is a dependency, you can put everything in a same pipeline also. Okay, clear, Shreni? Next. So yeah, that's all questions I see in the chat window. Next, Anil, please go on, Anil.
Yes, sir. So my question is, if we connect with one IP address, means if we get any network issues, can we modify the server name, or
No,
can
see,
we add
here,
the multiple
when you ask question, you
server?
stop there, because I understood your question. The reason you no need to explain
Okay,
everything, I can understand your question. Okay.
okay,
Here, in our case, today I am connecting through Wi-Fi. Tomorrow you connect from your hotspot. But in real time, there is a dedicated network they are going to maintain. First thing, if they are not going to maintain, please be in mute. Let people understand. Okay. See, if they are not configuring, if they are not on a same server, let's say now everybody is on work from home. Work from home means everybody is using their own network. Now, how to connect to the databases? Client, they cannot enable. Okay, Malay is connecting from is a different network. Today he came to native place, he connecting from different network. Let me add some IP address. No, that will not happen. There are some tools. What these tools will do, whatever IP address comes, doesn't matter. Okay, whatever IP address you are connecting, doesn't matter. This will be redirected. Okay, kind of a proxy. It will be redirected and it will point to the corporate network. It will map to the corporate network. This corporate network ID already enabled to connect to the database. So from any IP address, first you need to connect to the corporate network. From corporate network, you can able to connect to the actual database. Now, how to do this mapping? So if you are working for a particular organization, they will install a tools. That tool is responsible to do this particular mapping. Okay. So people who are working on the databases since last 2 years, they might have observed this thing. Clear? Anil, clear? Got it, Anil? Or you are not clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Other example I'll tell you. Other example, what they will do is they will create a virtual machine. So any Azure service, if you want to access, they will ask you to access only from virtual machine. Why? Because virtual machine will use same network, that is Microsoft network. So Microsoft network always allowed to connect from one server to another server. So from virtual machine, if you want to connect to the SQL databases and all, it will be very easy. So only thing is you need to have a permission to connect to the virtual machine. Once you connect to the virtual machine, you can connect to the SQL database, because on SQL database, they'll enable the required firewall for virtual machine. Clear?
Yes, sir.
One minute. Okay, so you understood, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I have one more small doubt, sir.
Yes, yes.
So when we are uploading a bulk data, like you inserted rows at a time. So if we add I mean multiple duplicate rows, will be there any issue with that, or SQL will filter all the data?
Sanil, this is so duplicate records concepts, everything will come into the data flows. So data copy active to what it will do, even if you have a duplicate rows, it will simply copy. Let me add one duplicate row. Okay, I'm just adding this, run it. So one more row is inserted. Now when you look at here, so duplicate row is there, doesn't matter for the copy activity. You need to take care of the transformation, how to remove this duplicate row. Okay, clear, Anil?
Okay, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes,
Savans,
sir. Clear, sir.
yeah, I'm taking last question from Savans because he was trying to ask some questions. Savans, please tell me.
Malaya, in the first, we just need to add the IP address and check that box for the
IP address, and you need to enable the Azure services to connect to the SQL database, those two, and save it.
Okay.
Then only you will be able to connect. If you're not able to connect, means there is a firewall you did not set properly. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it. And here in the duplicate question, one question I have. Does this take the primary key concept, or it does not take as part?
You don't worry about primary keys and all those things. Okay. So even if you have a primary key, everything will be copied. No issues. Okay.
Oh,
If you have a child parent table relationship, first you need to copy child table, then parent table. Okay, such type of things will be there. Okay, fine. Next, Srija. Sir, can we delete specific row? Yes, you can delete it. Those are simple delete queries. You need to write it. We will see those things. How much SQL is needed for Azure's data engineer role in real time as I'm new to this language? Anish, you no need to worry. Whatever is required. Today you have seen creating table, we don't know. We discussed from scratch. Inserting data into the table, we discussed. So like that, whatever is required, everything will be covered. It's going to save SQL data in default database. Not default database, that will be stored in a database that we have connected. So see, so the database is this, the database in which it will store all these things. Clear? Fine. So now I have a table in the student table in the database. My target is Blob storage. In Blob storage, as you know, I need to create a folder. Where I need to go? Go to containers, create a container called student data. So this is a container created. Let's quickly see what all we have done as of. Okay, we created a server. Under server, we created a one database. Okay, then we have created the blob storage. We have data factory. Okay, so now what we have done, so this is the server, so this is the database. So in database we created which table? Student table. So if you observe here, student before dot dbo dot is there. What is dbo dot? Anybody have any idea?
Object.
Data
Database object.
Database object.
subject.
What is that called?
Or
Schema.
database.
That is called a schema.
Schema.
Okay. Whenever you are creating a table, if you are not specifying any schema, what is the default schema? DBO. Why we will maintain the schema? Just to say, let's say we have a different subject areas. Let's say there is a different universities, JNTU, JNTU Kakinada dot student. So this student details for JNTU Kakinada students. Okay, this is the schema. Schema indicates some specific subject area. JNTU Hyderabad dot student. So same student table, but this is not under same schema. This is a different schema. This is under different schema. So what this schema is indicating, this is a different subject area. It is indicated. It is talking about a Hyderabad University students. It is talking about a Kakinada students. Something like that. Okay, got it? So like that you have in the real-time DBO like cost, sales dot cost. So some other business things will be there. So based on that, you may have the default one is the DBO. If you have any specific requirement, you can give any other schema. Clear? So that's why it is created under DBO schema, DBO.student. Now I created in a blob storage student data. Now my question is, how many linked services I need? How many data sets I need for this lab?
2 linked sets. 2 linked sets. 2 data sets.
Yes.
Two data set, one link service, two link service, I think.
Very good. So I appreciate people who answered three linked services, and people who answered 2 linked services, and people who answered 1 linked service. So let me first come one by one. So can you just tell me who all think only we need 1 linked service? Somebody said, right? Who is that person? Somebody said only 1 linked service. Can you just tell me who is he? She? How many linked services? Who said 1 linked service? Please tell me. Yogesh, is that you?
No, I said 2.
Okay. See, whoever thought 1 linked service, remember why we need to create only one. See, because database is a separate connection, blob storage is a separate connection. You cannot connect to the database with the storage key. Both are different things totally. You need at least one connection for this. Okay, one connection for this and one connection for this one. How many data sets we need? How many data sets we need? Data set means selection of data. What data you are going to select here? Using the one data set, you will select a student table. Using another data set, you will select the student data folder. How many pipelines we need? Only one pipeline I'll create. Okay.
One pipeline.
I'll just create a one pipeline. So in this particular pipeline, I'll just use which activity? I'll just use the copy activity to copy the data. Let's say I'll just use some kind of a copy activity to copy this data from this folder to this folder. So where I need to create these connections, data sets, pipelines, activities, everything. Where? Data frame. Azure Data Factory. Okay, go to resource. So this is the data factory. I hope everybody know how to open data factory. Click on this open to open data factory. You come here. Come to manage. You need to create two linked service. Let's create. So click new. Our source is SQL database. Select SQL database. Select this. LS for SQL server 1. Okay. So integrate subscription is this. What is the server name? Cloud Pandit 6 SQL server. What is the database name? Cloud Pandit 6 SQL DB. I want to know. What is the username? What is the password? Cloud@123. Any questions? I have given link service name. I have chosen subscription, server name, database name, username and password of the server. Connection is successful. Is that clear to all of you? Prudvi, clear. Sri Lakshmi, Srija, Ravindra, Prudvi. Everybody's clear, right? Click create. Now similarly, let's create a new linked service for Blob storage. So subscription is this. Storage account name is what? Cloud Pandit 6 storage. Test connection. Create it. A connection is successful. Connection is successful. Okay. So this is the Blob connection. This is a SQL service. Come to author tab. Now I need to create a data set. Okay, Prudvi, can you guide me how to create a data set for the SQL database?
Go to new data set.
Okay.
Blob store. SQL.
Blob. Our source is what?
It says SQL, sir.
SQL database. So you search for SQL database. Okay. Azure SQL. Next.
Continue.
Give the, okay, I will give the name. Okay. Azure SQL DB. Azure SQL DB. It's a source. Next.
Yes, in linked service, we have to select SQL server.
Very good. SQL server linked service. Next. Is it a multi-table or a single table?
Single table, sir.
Single table means you can hard code it. How to hard code the table name?
We can write it manually, I think.
No. Here you can see drop down. Okay. You will see that table which is there. Okay. You select it. Click OK. Srija, clear? Sri Lakshmi. People, please tell me whoever not able to understand, because I don't know who are able to understand, who are not able to understand. Okay, click OK. Okay. Similarly, now Srija, tell me how to create a data set for Blob storage.
Yes, sir. Click on new data set.
Okay.
Select blob storage. Azure blob storage.
Blob storage. Okay. Next.
Binary form.
No. Take it as a CSV, because binary means source must be binary. Then only sync should be binary. So source is table, then you can write data as a CSV, Excel, JSON, anything. So let's write it as a CSV so that you can able to see, you can able to read the data. That's okay. DS for blob sync. Okay. Which connection I need to use?
Let's blob.
Can I hard code the folder
Select.
here as it is only one? Yes.
Yes.
The student data folder I hard coded. Do I need to check first as header? So if you're not checking this, remember, if you're not checking this, headers of the table will not come. Meaning data, you will get only data, but you will not get headers. That's why you check first as header, then only you will get the headers of the table as well. Okay, headers of the table means this one, SID, SNAME, SBranch. This also will copied. Otherwise, those will not be copied if you uncheck this. Okay, that's why check this. As this folder is there, it will try to import. No issue. Click OK. Now you have source data set and sync data set. What I need to do next to Sri Lakshmi? What is the next step, Sri Lakshmi?
Create pipeline connection.
Very good. So you need to create a pipeline. Just click here, new pipeline. Next, what I need to do? Next,
Copy activity.
where is that copy activity?
Under the activities, search for copy.
Search for copy. Okay.
Drag and
drop. Very good. Now, what is the source side? What I need to select?
ADP source. Paste ADP source.
The database is source. What is the what I need to select inside?
Blob sync.
This is the sync. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the sync. This is the source. Okay. Now you just so you need to debug. Just to debug what will happen. You see. Okay. So data is copied into the student data folder. The student.txt is coming, but internally data is comma separated. You can see. See headers also came. Clear? Headers also cleared all of you. See duplicate data is arrived into this particular blob storage. Clear? Now, my question is, let's say I want to parameterize my table name and the folder name. What you need to do? So instead of passing this hard-coded table name, I want to pass it through the parameter. How many parameters I need?
One parameter.
Not one. Remember, two parameters. Okay. DBO schema you need to pass, and you need to pass the table name. Two you need to pass it separately. That's why you need a two parameters. Okay. What is the parameter name? DS param. Okay. So I don't want to confuse everything on same day. So tomorrow I'll explain. Then I'll give you the task. But I'll tell you the mapping how you can create for this is. If anybody understood today's session and previous lab, they can able to do how to copy multiple tables from SQL database to blob storage. Multiple tables. When you have multiple tables, you need to create a mapping file. How to create a mapping file? Metadata file. Source schema, source table, synced folder. Okay. So DBO student. So I want to load it into student data folder. DBO EMP, I want to load it into EMP out. DBO, let's say this is a sales.cust out. Okay, next dates dot payment out. So what you observed here, So dbo.student is a table. From that table, you read data, write it into student data. dbo.emp is a table. You write it into emp out. Sales.cust is a table. You you copy data from cust to cust out. Dates.payment, that is a table. You copy data into payment out. So tomorrow I'll discuss the remaining things, how to create a table in a different schemas, how to parameterize. Then you can just go with the other options. Okay, clear? All of you clear?
Sir,
Malaya, I have
dot there.
2 questions.
Tell me.
Yeah, first one is like since this is out of context, like since we have a database now, so can we maintain a, just for example, a config table, and we can pull out the details from there, right?
Abhishek Sharma, we are going to do everything in the future. I cannot directly explain. See, this is what configurations only, right? These are details only, metadata information. You are going to
Yes.
store it in the table. So why I am explaining these things in the file? Because I have already explained in the file. That's why I am explaining the file format. But in the future, I'll tell them how to put it in the table. So they are already clear on how to create table, insert table. So slowly everything will be learned. Okay. On one day they cannot reach. Maybe see what happens is some people might have learned few things on ADF using some YouTube videos or something. You may be advanced, but all other people are not like that, right? So they are started everything from scratch. They don't know anything. So we need to take them step by step. So that's why people who are already know. So try to do the labs which I'm giving. Okay, I said go with this file and try to copy this multiple tables from SQL database to folders. So you try to do things advanced. So because in the
Yeah.
future I'll try to create some groups so you can guide some people, so you can help some people who are not able to do the labs and all. That will basically improve your knowledge as well. Okay.
Yeah. And one more thing, like, can we use the database that you created? Can we create multiple tables there and test it?
Yes.
The same
Why
database?
not?
Okay.
Yes, you can use. Why not? Same database you can use. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Next. No problem. Prithvi, yes, Prithvi, tell me your previous session question also fine. Tell me, Prithvi.
Sir, actually, I need to share the screen, sir, to show that.
Okay. So, Prithvi, in that case, just wait. Let me take any questions that are related to today's session, friends. Final call. Any question related to today's session? If not, let me stop.